Oh yeah.
Hi, I would like to welcome you to Pranic Healing Stories. My name is Rhonda Steinke, and today we have a great story. Today we have a Pranic Healer and Pranic Healing client or family member of that are here to explain their experience with using Pranic Healing for a critical COVID case. So Jessica is the sister of Marco, who was the person who was in the hospital intubated, and Camilla is one of the healers that got to work on the case. So I'd like to go ahead and start out with Jessica and just ask you, how did you think of maybe using pranic healing for your brother?
Hi. So I had already had some experience with prana healing prior to this happening with my husband and Dr. Steinke. So I knew already that that was like a, a amazing tool that I could use in this moment that was so difficult, where we almost lost my brother. So I just thought that I believe in prana healing, and I thought it would be a great addition to the help that was being given to my brother at that point.
Got it. And can you tell us where your brother was during this engagement with using pranic healing?
Yes. So I live in Arizona, United States, and my brother lives in Mexico City. So with that said, obviously there was not much I could do from here physically, but I knew that prana healing works with being in a different location. So again, that was another benefit of prana healing, being able to have it and help our our family, or someone that we know that it's going through some health issue, and we can help them that way. So I was able to reach out to Camila and Maddie, and then also Dr. Steinke for some help.
Awesome. And how did it work? How did the process work for you?
Well, I think well, it was amazing. Like, my brother was in the hospital for almost 2 months. He was intubated. He had he had to have a trach done, and the prana healing was done 3 times a week and three times a day, with the three of the prana healers. So one of them was doing it in the morning, one in the middle of the day, and another one at night. And that, I think that was the most amazing time when that happened. It was when the most reaction from my brother was showing. We were talking to doctors every day and getting an answer of how is he moving forward. It was very slow. It was very slow because his case was very strong. He, like I said, like, we almost lose him, but um, the prana healing, I think, is what made the difference. There was no much then that the doctors could do. They just kept saying, like, we just need his body to react, to reduce the inflammation in his lungs, and we need the body itself to heal itself. But then I was like, okay, so how can we help? Like, medicine doesn't do that, and there was no medicine that could do that. No, nothing else. So prana healing was absolutely exactly what we needed. It was that help that could go into the cells, into, in the, as an energy level, to go to him and heal from inside. Like, that's exactly what we needed at the moment. There was no other way.
Wow, that's amazing. But how did you know that pranic healing was working? I mean, that's a lot of pranic healing. That's a huge commitment. It's like, how did you keep on wanting to move forward?
I believe in it. I believe that it's working. I had communication with Camila and with Dr. Steinke and Maddie almost in daily basis as well. So I would hear from them. I would again see what the doctor was saying. I have the connection with my brother because I love him and I know he was connected with me as well. So I know that he was receiving it and he was being healed during that time, even if it was slow. It was slow, but there was a lot to go through and a lot to heal and process in his body.
Wow. So what happened? How is he now?
Well, it was a long time in the hospital. Slowly he got out of the trach, and then he has been getting better little by little. He's out of the hospital. He still has a little bit of an issue with his oxygen level. If he's very active through the day, in the afternoon he gets a little tired still and he needs to relax. But it's been 5 months now, I think, about 5-6 months, and he's much better. His muscles have come back to strength, and his lungs, which was the most damaged organ in his body, that's the one that it's again taking a little bit longer, but he's getting much better. He's strong. I talked to him the other day, and he finally sounded like himself, like his voice, his tone, everything. He sounded like himself again, finally. Yeah.
Got it. So obviously, he was too sick for you to be like, oh, so we're doing this healing stuff on you via distance. But now that it's over and he knows about it, what does he think about it?
Well, he is very grateful, and he has some episodes in his memory somehow that he felt some help. He doesn't know them. He doesn't know the healers. He didn't know this was happening. I started and requested this from you without him knowing. I know he's a very spiritual person, so I know that he would receive it happily. So I felt confident to do it. And I just hear him say that it's just feelings, like memories kind of in the back, but he doesn't remember anything. He's just like little things here and there that happened when he was down during that time.
Yeah. Did any doctors make any comments like about his healing and that it was like anything that could kind of help us be like, did this stuff really work? Oh, you froze for just a minute. So maybe what we'll do while we get Jessica back on the call, we'll turn to Camilla. Did you hear of any feedback during this process of like, or feedback? I mean, you're an engineer by trade, correct?
Yes.
So okay. So how did you kind of quantify or qualify that your effort 3 times a day was valuable?
So it was just through the feedback that I was getting daily from Yezica, basically. They were in a process where they were trying to not give him the tracheotomy and everything like that. He was just on the ventilator, but I think he was for an extended period of time. It was way too long. And they said that, and they saw improvement, and then all of a sudden it's like, we have to put him do a tracheotomy or whatever, however it's go. So I think that was a hard point for the family because they felt like it was a setback. I, in my heart, felt like, well, if this is what is needed to allow the healing, then by all means, right? So we just kept going with a lot of faith, letting the divine energy do the work, and shortly after he started showing more improvement. They were showing more improvement, showing that, he was having better days and so on. So that was the feedback, right? It was just all by hearing from Yezica. The call, I was normally the healing at night, and Jessie had the calls at night with the doctor. So sometimes I would be able to get some feedback before or after or during actually. And we just kept going, right? We just kept going until I think I supported the healings after he was fully off the respirator or any support. But that's how we knew that he was getting better.
And that was worth it to you. So how long did you apply healings daily for?
I would say maybe a whole month, maybe 3 weeks and a month. I actually, I went on a vacation with my family to Utah. We live in Arizona. I live in Arizona as well. And I was like, how am I going to make this work? And I took my bucket of water, my crystal, and at night, I will just do the healings for him. So while I was on vacation for the full week, I kept going because that's my mission with Pranic Healing, is service. So,
that's a huge lesson I think for all of us, even people who've been doing Pranic Healing, is that, it may not be, the miracle may not be in one session. Like it could be in a month long of sessions, and it's applying the healing protocols frequent enough that the rate of healing is higher than the rate of deterioration. So that's amazing that you just knew that was what you wanted to be doing and kept doing. And how long have you been healing? Like how long have you been doing Pranic Healing?
Well, I started Pranic Healing because of my dad. And I did healings on him. Often he had a chronic condition. And then when that got he overcame that condition, then I kind of stopped doing active healings, right? Like I would do healings here and there or whatever else, or for my my son here and there, or myself, but not. And it wasn't until Jessie called and asked for my help that I jumped in right away. And I knew that if she was reaching out for help, that I would do anything in my power to be that conduit to support, right? And just be there for her, right? So that was my way to support a close friend, and didn't even think twice about it.
Fantastic. Yeah, what was going through your mind when Jessica's like, my brother, and correct me if I'm wrong how this conversation went, but like, my brother is very, very, very sick in the hospital in Mexico. Like, what can you do? Was there any like doubt or like being like, what was that thought process?
Like for me, I when she called, I was just like, well, I'll do Pranic Healing on him. We'll ask Dr. Sankey and see, how often and like how, because that is important as well, right? Like if we're gonna have to do it twice a week, what is my, the commitment that I can make? That was important to just be able to be fully present to the commitment, right? And for me, I work full-time. I have 3 kids. So it was difficult for me to do there's many healings, but I could commit to one a day. So that's where I reach out to Marty, and Marty also knows Jessie. So for Marty, she's an amazing person, and she just was like, absolutely, we're here to help. So that's what we did. She took the morning one. She would wake up really early, like 3 a.m, because it's for her job. She normally wakes up early. And then I took the night, and that's how we broke it down. There was never a question. I know from the bottom of my heart that Pranic Healing works, and I've seen results. That's the thing. Like I've seen results. I saw, like I said, my dad had a chronic case of kidney deterioration. He was on dialysis, and he was out after some time, a couple of months of Pranic Healing. So I knew for a fact that this worked, and if there was anything that could help, it was going to be Pranic Healing. So
That's fantastic. So Jessica, looking back now, after you've engaged in Pranic Healing, and we don't know if it worked or if it didn't, but it very well could have, because it was a really severe case, and it didn't interact or interfere with any of the conventional treatment, correct?
Absolutely not. No, it did not interfere. I never felt like that could be something negative. Like there was no other way to do it. And I also trust that it was helping. And I see the doctors talking to us. I mean, I talk to them every night, and just the way that sometimes what they would say was so scary. Like it was like, there's no way this is gonna go in a positive direction. And it did. And it did. And it was surprising. And it was faith, because you don't see it, but at the same time, like if you believe it, and I have the 3 people doing it, and it was strong. It wasn't like just one time, once in a while. I knew it had to be done that way. That's when I reach out to them. And yes, Camila, thank you, and Mari and Dr. Stanky, because it was beautiful to feel the support and to feel the love, that you gave my family and us immediately.
So the value that you think using Pranic Healing was definitely worth it.
Absolutely. I would recommend it to anyone. I talked to my family. I told them what we were doing, and it was beautiful, and absolutely I would recommend it.
Good. Camilla, what else do you want to share about your experiencing doing Pranic Healing on a critical case?
I don't know, I like I said, I jumped in with this one specifically with a great sense of, we didn't know, right? Like we didn't know how long it was gonna take, right? Like, and there was really not a okay, we're gonna do it for a week and see how it works, right? Because it really, for us, with the information that we had available, like Jess said, it could have gone either way, right? It could have been that he wasn't recovering, but it was just, we're here to help as long as it takes. For the previous case, the chronic case that I had worked on, was a little bit simpler because there were labs that will show like the improvement of the kidneys quite, often, right? This was, again, like Jessie was saying, some of the feedback that she was receiving, sometimes it was encouraging, and sometimes it was like, yeah, well, he's stable. Okay, what does that mean? Like, do we see a difference, right? Like, so for someone like with an engineering brain, or like, I just want numbers, it was like, okay, well, this is a lesson to we're just gonna keep going. And I was planning to keep doing it until Jessie would tell me, hey, I'm good. Jessie was always very good, and she was very appreciative. So she was like, as long as you guys can do it, I will receive the blessings. And it's like, okay, we're here to stay, right? It wasn't a time. So, to me, it's actually miraculous that it happened, in a sense, for someone that was in such a rough shape so quickly, right? Because, I mean, he's now recovered, right? I mean, obviously he's recovering his mobility and stuff like that. And that had happened without having any extra Pranic Healing to support anything else. His lungs are strong enough to recover on their own, right? Which is, it's, right after, and that's something that just came to mind, like right after we had the sessions and stuff, when it was kind of like getting him through the chronic piece of it. And we potentially could have support maybe more right after. It was just, we got through a chronic piece. He was good. He was alive. He was safe. And then, his body was able to recover. So that's pretty good.
Wow. It sounds like this case, I mean, was miraculous, but it seems like there was a lot of, receptivity and constant consistency that was necessary in order for that to take place. So luckily we have the other healer, the other main healer, join us. Mary, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of explaining this story for others to potentially maybe engage in pranic healing. So I guess my question to you is how long have you been in pranic healing? What was
Aló.
Hello?
Hola, Mari.
Aló. Mi
¿Nos
internet está
escuchas,
bien
Mari?
lento. Sí, ya escucho. Hola, hola.
Hola,
She can hear us now.
la doctora te está
Se
preguntando
corta mucho mi internet.
que cuánto tiempo llevas en Pranic Healing.
Aló.
Te escuchamos.
Ay, Dios mío.
Tal vez si quitas el video y solamente hablas, mejor el internet.
Aló.
Dr. Frankie, I'm just telling her, like, because her internet is not good.
Right.
So I was telling her, like, if she can just take off the video and just do the voice, could work better.
Yeah.
Mari, ¿nos escuchas? She can hear.
She can?
She cannot.
Okay.
It's like she's in and out.
It's delayed.
It's okay. We'll do our best
Es que
for
está
those of
muy
you
lento mi
watching. I'm pretty
internet. Se
sure that you've had Zoom issues
corta mucho.
before.
¿Me pueden escuchar?
Sí, te escuchamos. Se cayó.
Right.
Okay.
So it would have been great to have her on the call. The reason why is because it's an opportunity to show the explanation more of constancy of aim and effort, and that pranic healing teaching is universal. Because luckily I have Jessica and Camilla to help me communicate with Mary, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to. I only took 2 classes of Spanish and have regret not taking more. But she is an amazing healer, and I was there when she took her pranic healing classes with our English speaking instructors, and she has done an amazing job, obviously, because she was one of the main healers in this case. So Camilla, would you want to do just a little bit of talking about your engagement working with Mary?
So yeah, Mari, I think she probably started pranic healing maybe a couple of years ago. Tops, she has taken level 1 and I believe level 2 as well. Mari, volviste. ¿Nos oyes?
Hola. Casi no me deja el internet.
¿Quieres apagar tu cámara a ver si funciona mejor?
¿Cuál? A ver. ¿Ahí?
Sí.
¿Así?
La doctora estaba preguntando que cuánto
Ajá.
llevas en Pranic Healing.
Como 3 años. 3 años creo. 3 o 2 años por ahí.
¿Y cuál ha sido tu experiencia con Pranic Healing?
Ha sido una de las mejores experiencias que he tenido en mi vida. La mejor. Tengo mucha fe y tengo resultados pues ya has mirado, o sea, la historia de Carlos y ahora el hermano de Jesse y otras personas más que yo he anexado en mi familia y tengo los resultados en mis manos y le doy gracias a Dios y a la doctora pues que nos invitó y que fue la primera que me invitó.
Espérame,
Sí,
traduzco un minuto.
sí, sí.
So she said that she basically has had the best experience
Que se
with
me
Pranic
corta
Healing.
mucho.
Sí, espérame, traduzco lo que ya dijiste. That she's had the best experience with Pranic Healing. She had her husband that had another chronic case as well, that she treated him, and it helped her, it helped him. So she's seen that, and she said that she's very grateful for being there for him, and also obviously the case for Marco. She said that she's also included a couple other people from her family, and that she's very grateful for having been able to take the classes and have the ability to be involved with Pranic Healing.
Good. What was her experience working on Marco, and how did she have the consistency to be able to continue that case?
¿Cómo fue tu experiencia tratando a Marco y cómo tuviste como la disciplina, la consistencia de seguir tratándolo durante todo el caso?
Fue algo muy maravilloso porque una de estas cosas que yo he aprendido es la constancia y la fe. Esto se logra, una noche yo les platiqué, bueno, yo siempre era en la madrugada, ustedes lo saben, a las 3 de la mañana. Y una de ese día yo tuve una experiencia muy bonita, como se iba a sanar. Por eso hasta les platiqué también mi visión que yo tuve, no sé si lo recuerdan. Fue algo maravilloso, como que es algo que, como la señal de que tú sabes dices, oh sí, lo voy a seguir haciendo porque se va a lograr. Y pues la prueba la tienen ustedes también, de que entre todos la fuerza y la sanación, pues como que hace la magia de sanar. Y una de ellos es mi yerno también. Él estaba muy mal y ahorita está súper bien, súper bien. Él andaba en pasos y gracias a Dios ahorita ya anda puro bueno.
Déjame le traduzco. So she was saying that she had a wonderful experience, that there was one night, first she said that it was a wonderful experience, and that she's learned that it's all about consistency and faith. And that's and that with that everything basically turns out. And she said that there was one night where she felt like, or one morning where she felt like, this is gonna work, and like he's gonna be healed. And I do remember that night because she sent us, we had a group text where she said, like, I had an experience today and I know this is gonna work. We gotta continue. This is happening. It's interestingly enough because it was either that night or maybe that following night where I had something similar. I just felt him differently. His energetic body felt differently than it was kind of like a switch. Okay, it just less depleted, it was more energized, right? So she also said that that obviously we all worked together on him, and that she knew that we just needed to keep working, and that it will happen. That she's seen it also with her son-in-law, that was actually not very good. She said kind of like a positive path, and now it just seems like it's more like on a behavior. Now it's just shaping up, I guess, or like making better decisions.
Nice. But all of this is just the feedback that you got using the protocol throughout the protocol, right? You would repeat the same protocol, or did you use different protocols?
For Marco, we all just use the COVID protocol.
Oh, the Pranic Healing COVID protocol.
The Pranic Healing
Repeated it over and over and over again.
Right.
But you could just tell after a period of time, like, this is something shifted. And you're like, this is going to work. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
How long into doing consistent healings was that moment?
I think it took a while.
Yeah, because he got worse,
I would
right?
just say like, yeah, because we started with 2 prana healings, the morning and night, for like about 2 weeks, I want to say, Camila.
Yeah.
And then he was still not recuperating. He was still, we were continuing getting like either like it's stable, but we don't know how long, or it might get worse. So that's when I contacted Dr. Stanky, and then she introduced a 3rd session a day in the middle of the day. And it just happened to be like a beautiful thing also is like, it just kind of like everything worked together. Like for Dr. Stanky, the middle of the day was the best time for you to commit to this. And then Cami at night and Maddie in the morning. And, it was just like so perfect. And so kind of like it worked perfect together. And then I think with Dr. Stanky, we did another like couple weeks, I want to say. So yeah, I think it was about a month all together. And that's when I think adding a 3rd one also helped. And that was the most critical time when things were gonna either get better or not. So I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, that was really helpful. Thank you. It's a complex case, so trying to piece together all of it is really interesting, especially when there were so many people involved. So for those of you that are not familiar with pranic healing is a non-touch healing modality. And in this healing modality, pranic healers do not diagnose, treat, nor prescribe medications. They use and apply the modality either in person or via distance. Pranic healers are not licensed medical providers. As you can see, Camilla, she's an engineer by trade. And so most people that are pranic healers do it because they've seen benefits in their lives. Yet, however, professionals can be pranic healers and apply their trades safely together. So pranic healing is really intended to complement a standard medical treatment, and I think this is a great story of that integration of seeing that there's some people's health that really needs help from multiple angles. So I'm really grateful for this story. I think it's a magical story in a way, and it really took a tremendous effort, but it was complex and serious and critical. So Jessica, I'm grateful to you and to Marco for being willing to share the story. And hopefully it will help other people who are listening, whether engage in pranic healing for themselves or for their loved ones, or to maybe even try it out on their own. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like to say before we close up?
Just to me is just thank you to the 3 of you, and thank you to whomever taught you this so you could come to me and be in circle, because it's a process. Someone like introduced that to your life, and you guys introduced that to my life, pranic healing to my life, and I just feel like I want to become a healer as well, and be able to support other families and my own family, of course, as well, and my dear friends. I love you guys.
Oh, I also, I guess that is it. Like for me, when I started, and I like I said, I haven't been fully constant on my practice, but when I started, I did a first service for my family. And it changed my life. It changed the way I see things. It changed the way I see service. It changed my friendships, you know, to be like deeper and like really very meaningful. My relationship with Mari, my relationship with Jesse, that all like is just a different type of connection. I will always be grateful for Dr. Sankey for introducing me to Pranic Healing and for the divine timing where I decided to take the trainings, and it's helped my family, it's helped my friends, and I just couldn't be happier to have started this path. I just starting to learn even more, and I'm grateful for it.
Mary, is there anything that you'd like to say?
I have to go. I'm sorry.
The story?
I have to go. I'm sorry. I'm having an issue with my
Family life.
Okay.
Mari, que si hay algo más que quieras compartir.
Yo nomás quiero agradecerles a ti, a la doctora, por tanta ayuda, y de verdad que son una bendición en mi vida. He aprendido mucho con ustedes y primero Dios voy a seguir aprendiendo más. Gracias por todo, a ti y a la doctora por ayudarme tanto, por quererme tanto. Las quiero igual y para mí son mi familia también ustedes.
Oh,
Yo las quiero mucho. Gracias por todo, a las dos.
Ay, gracias, Mari. She's saying that she really loves us both, that she's very thankful for all the help and support that we have provided through her path, and that if it's God's will, that she will continue growing her capabilities and learning. And that's it. That she really cares for us like a family.
That's so beautiful. This is wonderful, and I can't take any of the credit for those of you that are saying things about me, because we're only as good as those that teach us. So I'm grateful for Master Chokaksui, who developed Pranic Healing, and for my teacher, Master Stephen Coe, and all of the other Pranic healers who keep on working so diligently. So thank you again for sharing this beautiful story, and hopefully we'll have more stories to share in the near future.
Sounds good. Have a great day.
Thank
you.